Hello, my name is Cheryl Smith, and I'm a member of the Flint Area League of Women Voters. With partners Communities First Incorporated and Flint Beat, we share a purpose to educate, empower, and engage local voters. We are happy to bring you a virtual community forum today to help you decide which candidates will get your vote. All elected officials make important decisions about how your tax dollars are spent. So knowing about the candidates is important. All candidates for the offices were contacted. Candidates not participating today either chose not to or were unavailable. We hope you will listen carefully to those participating and check out vote411.org for written responses to any that were unable to participate. All participants were informed that they would need to comply with certain rules, such as refraining from comments about their opposition and only taking this opportunity to tell voters about their own qualifications, priorities, and outlook. All candidates are asked the same question and all have the same time to respond. Thank you, and we look forward to an informative discussion. Here are some of the rules. 2 minutes for each question. Each candidate will be given a 30-second warning and a 10-second warning by a timekeeper on screen. We'd like to provide each candidate 2 minutes for opening remarks. Dr. Beverly Brown, welcome, and please proceed.
Thank you, Cheryl. I would like to thank the Flint Beat, Communities First, and the League of Women Voters for inviting us to this forum. And I appreciate the opportunity for allowing me to let people know who I am, because I'm new to the world of this whole world. This is my very first time running a campaign, as I was appointed to the position of County Commissioner representing District 4 in January of 2023. And upon that appointment, I was, driven to and encouraged really to come up with the courage to really step up and do something to help my community. I retired from the educational world in 2021 from Oakland Community College, and had spent 8 years at the Michigan Department of Education, traveling across the state, helping to improve schools. And after I retired from education, I spent a year doing some travel. And after I came back doing that travel, I thought to myself, we can do better. We can do some things better here in Genesee County. So I had a little bit more juice left in me. And so instead of deciding to retire fully, I decided to take on this challenge. And I'm really glad that I did, because I think that it's important for us to help shape our community and help shape our future so that it's better for everyone. And that's just about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Steve Minnick, please proceed.
My name's Stephen Minock. I'm obviously running for Genesee County Commission Board, District 4. A little background on me. I graduated actually from Ortonville, Brandon back in 1997, and I attended college at Alpena Community College for concrete technology, which ties in for my business. And then I attended Mott Community College for small business. After that, I've basically been working my way up through our family business, which has been in business and supplying concrete masonry units to Genesee County for 98 years at this point. So 2 years away from 100. I am fourth generation. We have quite literally built this city, and we continue to build it. We're actually supplying First and Fieldhouse right now, and also the YMCA. So basically, I'm just a small business owner and concerned parent. I was approached about running for this position, and I've been thinking that things are not headed in the correct direction for quite a while. And I felt the civil responsibility and responsibility to my family and my friends to run for office to see if maybe we could start to conduct business on the board as business, just like run it like a company. Don't run it like a basic government entity. Make decisions that make sense for the whole community, not for any small groups, and just try to do the best I can to do good things for my local community.
All right. Well, we will go now into our first question, which kind of builds on your introductions. So just describe your qualifications and experience for this office and explain your reasons for running, particularly how would you be an asset? So Mr. Minnock, we'll start with you for that question.
Okay. I think my main asset to, the commission board would be my life experiences in running a business. Right now, we face a lot of hurdles with the cost of everything that we make. We need to make our product going up, but the cost of our product not going up at the same rate. I do believe that we really need to get back to having people lead the board who are fully affected by the consequences of what decisions are made on the board. Normal people. I think one of my best assets would be in cleaning up Flint. I'm a strong supporter of law enforcement, and obviously, me and my family, we build things. And I would like to find the money to knock down a whole bunch of burn up houses and put up parks or nice lawns there to beautify Flint and to make Flint safe again and make it so people want to come here and they want to get an education here and that they also want to start small businesses. Because when you start a small business, you're taking basically everything that you own, everything you've earned, and you're putting it into that. We need to convince people that it's safe to do that here in Flint. And as we see, as we're going north out of downtown with Burston House and other things, every rundown property that we find a way to make into a viable business, it transforms that community into something better. And I think that when it comes to that, my background in building things and my background with the community, working in the community, being around Flint for a long time, I think that that's my best asset.
Thank you so much. And Dr. Brown, same question.
Sure. My background is varied. I grew up in Detroit and was surrounded by 4 brothers, and the only girl. And but I've lived in Flint for the last 40 years. I came to Flint for a job working at Detroit Northern Savings Bank and worked my way up to bank vice president. So I do have banking experience. I have a good understanding of finances. And so I bring that to the table in terms of working in corporate America. And I also have experience in working in education, as I mentioned previously. I spent 16 years working at what used to be called the Genesee Area Skills Center, and I was their school and business liaison. And in that role, I was responsible for traveling to every single school district in Genesee County. And so that's when I became very familiar with almost every inch of Genesee County. And so I have had a chance to witness the great spots, the void spots, the spots that can use some improvement. And I had a chance to meet a lot of great school superintendents too. And so that helped fuel my desire to get my PhD. And so I completed that at Oakland University in 2011. And the dissertation topic was lean management in K-12 schools. And if you're not familiar with lean management, it's a continuous improvement system that takes into consideration customer value, respect for people, and the elimination of waste. So that's what I bring to the Genesee County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you so much.
And our second question, I will start with you, Dr. Brown. Many residents don't understand county government. How would you explain the county's primary responsibilities and services? And what will be your strategy for effectively communicating with constituents?
That's a great question. The role of the County Board of Commissioners is to provide oversight of millages primarily. We have a senior millage that takes care of folks who are mature in our community, and we do have a maturing population in Genesee County. We need to make sure that they're, taken care of and, receive meals. And so through our senior services millage, we help fund the 16 senior centers around Genesee County. We have a veterans millage that the county board oversees and provides services for veterans around the county. Things like the MTA millage, and that provides rides for older adults or people who are disabled who need to get to doctor's appointments and things like that. The arts and culture millage. We have a jewel in the FIA and the Cultural Center here in Genesee County. And so the County Board of Commissioners helps fund that jewel, and it's among one of the best cultural centers in the country. We have things like a healthcare services millage. And so all of these millages, and on top of grants that we're able to secure on an annual basis, helps fuel the budget. And so these things add to the quality of life, in addition to, helping to provide oversight for our sheriff's office, our prosecutor's office. And we work with all of those offices to help deliver services that you see and sometimes that you don't see. But it all adds to the quality of life in Genesee County. And so that's the role of the County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you. And Mr. Minnock?
You repeat the question one more time?
Sure. Many residents don't understand county government. How would you explain the county's primary responsibilities and services, and what will be your strategy for effectively communicating with constituents?
Well, obviously, I'm new to this. I don't have the benefit of already doing it for a few years, but we are stewards of the millages and the money that comes from Lansing, and we have oversight on how it is used here in the county. And obviously, things owned by the county, like say the county sheriff or certain school buildings, and we have the responsibility of electing, road commissioners also. But I think that our primary responsibility should be economic development, promoting job growth, supporting local businesses, and obviously attracting new industries, but also public safety, overseeing law enforcement, fire services, emergency management, the things that really make a city go, that we need to actually have a viable society in Genesee County, and, particularly city of Flint. Other things that I'm concerned about are, education. We need to emphasize the skilled trades, I think, a little bit more. And, we need to collaborate with the educational institutions to improve educational outcomes, because we know that our scores here in Flint, particularly at the grade level, are not very good. Also things like housing and urban development. We know there's a shortage of housing in this country, and we need to find ways to find affordable housing for more people. And there's a lot of stuff going on, particularly on Saginaw Street, that's going well. But I think that these are all things that we are stewards of. We guide the city, and we point the direction for where we're going to go. And I think that is the most important thing.
Thank you.
All right, our next question, we'll start this one as we'll keep going back and forth with Mr. Minnick. So commissioners are elected from separate districts, but they're also responsible for decisions that affect the entire county. In what ways do the priorities of your district's constituents differ with countywide issues, and in what ways do they overlap? And when we kind of see these priorities differ, what's your process for making decisions?
Well, I like to go with my process for making decisions first. I am a big proponent of taking in everyone's advice. I will never turn down advice, and I always give credit for the people that give that advice. When it comes to the issues that directly affect my area, well, obviously there's the Mundy County mega site, and the people of Mundy Township mega site, and the people of Mundy Township particularly are very concerned about what that will be, and the environmental impact on their community. Another thing that we have right now is that, the courthouses are trying to be moved downtown, and people in Mundy and Grand Blanc Township particularly don't want that to happen. They don't want to have to go downtown. And then that's one of the things that I've been discussing a lot with them lately. Another thing is that there's talk of possibly moving all the road commissioners downtown. And I know that Mundy and Grand Blanc Township would not like that, because they're afraid that if we move everything downtown, then the outlying areas will start getting neglected when it comes to the condition of the roads. And we all know that the condition of our roads could be better. And the most recent thing that was very big was when the county commission voted on the 911 consortium. Not on if it was going to pass, but how much money was going to be voted on. And luckily, the commission approved what was needed, and it was passed so that we could fund that basic service and maybe even build them a new building for 911.
Thank you so much. And Dr. Brown, will ask you the same question. Commissioners are elected from separate districts, but also are responsible for decisions that affect the entire county. In what ways do priorities of your district's constituents differ with countywide issues? In what ways do they overlap? And when priorities differ, what is your process for making decisions?
Well, one of the things that differentiates District 4 from the rest of the county is that I think, from my observation anyway, is that we have a lot of development, economic development going on, and we've been, really blessed to have lots of new things coming into our district. You have the Costco, La Fontaine, who just opened up on Hill Road. We have probably 4 or 5 ribbon cutting ceremonies going on this month alone for new businesses. And so recognizing that we had pockets of talent for economic development and bringing those kinds of developments to this area. One of the things that I did last year, and this was a part of my strategy for, moving forward, I worked with several commissioners and also the University of Michigan Flint, and we held a symposium on economic development, which served as sort of a proof of concept with 4 communities that we serve here in District 4. And the intent of that economic development conference was to learn from 4 experts from outside of Michigan. So we brought in someone from Pennsylvania, from South Carolina, from California, from Atlanta, and they came and they helped show us what was possible. And so now we're working to implement many more things to help get things moving forward. And so that intent is to do something bigger for the entire county in 2025 so that we can help spread that expertise for everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Dr. Brown, this question starts with you. Does the county board have a responsibility to develop relationships with other public entities, such as local cities, universities, libraries, and schools? In what way does that currently happen? And do you think there are better ways to develop those relationships?
Thank you for that question. Yes, it's crucial to develop relationships because nobody can do anything in a silo. One of the things that I initiated last year was a memorandum of understanding with the University of Michigan Flint. And the goal of that MOU was to leverage our resources so that we could do more together. And as a result of that MOU, that memorandum of understanding, we've been able to secure positions for interns. They, as I mentioned earlier, they partnered with us on the symposium. We held that on their campus. We have done some shared training and shared conferences together so that we can all sharpen our saws, where needed. We've done, the University of Michigan Flint have done some wonderful district profiles for us to examine the assets in all 9 districts across the county. So that's in the electronic form, thanks to our partnership with the University of Michigan Flint. And they are partners with us on our broadband initiative. And so the partnership and the relationships with everybody, all agencies, is crucial. We had held a community partners meeting just a couple of weeks ago to launch our broadband initiative so that we can do better broadband and increase the quality of broadband services across the entire county. And so we could not do that and issue that survey that we're trying to gather data with right now for broadband without our community partners. And so I want to thank Communities First for putting that QR code on their website so that more people can take the survey. And I want to encourage people to do 5 minutes with the survey so we can try to get more of the grant money that's out there.
And also, Mr. Minot, does the county board have a responsibility to develop relationships with other public entities, such as local cities, universities, libraries, and schools? In what way does that currently happen? And do you think there are better ways to develop those relationships?
Well, obviously, relationships with other cities and public entities is obviously very important. Um, uh, it was just described how it's actually going on right now. Obviously, I am not a board member, so I do not know all those things, but I do know the value in reaching out to your partners. In this case, it would be Partner City, to put your heads together to come up with better ways, and the importance of communication between municipalities, particularly when we have shared goals, to make sure that, you know, we're not stepping on each other or being counterproductive. So yes, I do think it's very important that we are partners with the people around us, to move toward, you know, the better goal of a better society, a better, cleaner, safer society. So yes, I do think it's important.
Thank you.
Cheryl, you're on mute.
In closing, is there anything that you would like the voters of your district to know about your candidacy? And I guess this is going to Mr. Minot.
Okay, well, mostly I want the voters to know that there is nothing special about me. I am a regular guy. I don't come from the college or education system. I actually kind of come from the School of Hard Knocks here in Flint. I've been around Flint a long time. Took me a little while to get, you know, my stuff together. I've owned businesses before. I finally came back to the family business. But I think I have a unique view into the way that we can actually make this place better and turn Flint around. You know, I have things that I'd like to do. You know, I'd really like to push the skilled trades in Genesee County. I think that we are a template with our blue collar, you know, attitude of going to work to try to put the biggest skilled trade center in the Midwest right here in Flint, Michigan. I think it would completely change the whole face of the city of Flint. You know, that paired with more support for law enforcement to make it safe. I really think that we can make a lot of improvements, build a lot of things, build this place back. Like I said, you know, in some of my publication, let's build back Genesee County. So that's what we really need to do. We need to knock some things down, but we need to build stuff. And we need to make people want to come here, and we need to make Flint a destination. I personally, like I said, I'm just a regular guy, and the biggest reason that I'm involved in this, because I was asked to run. It was not my idea to run. And I thought it was my civil responsibility, and a responsibility particularly to my children, to try to make this place better. And that's why I'm before you in this interview. Have a good day.
Dr. Brown, in closing, is there anything else that you would like the voters of your district to know about your candidacy?
They should know that I have a stellar work ethic, that I am dedicated and committed to doing the homework and learning about the issues and talking to people and gathering information. As a researcher, I'm sort of a researchaholic and a data junkie. And so I love to analyze data, and then make decisions based on that data. And it doesn't just involve numbers, it involves talking to people too. That's one of the reasons tonight I'm going to the Mott Foundation forum to help find out what's going on in the community and what people's thoughts are so that we can grow Genesee County together. And we can always do better. There are great pockets in this community right now. We have townships and villages that are doing wonderful things, and but we can always do better. And we want to get rid of poverty. We want to, take care of homelessness. The Land Bank is doing a phenomenal job of knocking down houses and getting rid of blight. I believe that through my volunteerism too, we just looked at the list I mentioned earlier, the 40 under 40, and folks who are a part of that. I am so encouraged by those young people, and I say young because they're a lot younger than me, but I'm encouraged by what those folks can bring to the table to help grow Genesee County together. So I'm anxious to be one of the leaders to help get that done. And I just humbly ask for everyone's vote. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us today. As a reminder, Election Day is November 5th, 2024. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can also vote by absentee ballot currently, or you can vote early in person for at least 9 days before Election Day. If you'd like to know more about your voting options, head to michigan.gov/vote. Exercise your right to vote and be part of your community.